guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be teaching you 10 points that are necessary and important for when you are applying eyelash extensions. Remember that if you're looking to purchase materials, go ahead and check out our website www.nanamonabeauty.com. My name is Monica. I am one of the founders of Nana and Mona and also your English version instructor, and I hope you enjoy this video. Si te gustaría ver este mismo video pero en versión en español, puedes revisar el canal de mi amiga Adriana que va a estar acá arribita. So guys, for today's video, don't mind my no makeup face. I just got a fresh set of lashes, as you guys can see. So I just didn't want to do any makeup. So I just wanted to mention and disclose that these 10 points that we're talking about today is merely our humble opinion. These 10 points are stuff that we have learned throughout the years with our experience, either in the field doing eyelash extensions or speaking to eyelash technicians, or also with students, the clients, and basically just having that full-on experience with the guest and the process. Now, since today we have a lot of information in our hands, let's just go ahead and get started. Number 1, choosing the correct curl and curvature. Choosing the curvature is one of the most common fails when applying eyelash extensions. If you do not choose a correct curvature, it is possible that your set will look very strange when applied on your guest. You should always take into account the type of characteristics the guest has in her eyes and also her eyelids. Because when you apply eyelash extensions, let's say for example, and the person opens their eyes, and when they do this, the extensions are brushing on or rubbing on their eyelid, then this means that the curvature was not chosen correctly. We've mentioned this in other videos, but it doesn't hurt to mention that to avoid this, it is important to take the picture, remember, facing forward and also facing sideways, and drawing the lines and checking all of the characteristics of the eye. Now, for the curvature and for the first point as well, I want to include also the length, because this kind of goes tied hand in hand with the curvature. If, for example, you have a person who wears glasses, you want to make sure that the eyelash extension length is not too long, because if it is, it's going to be bothering this person. You will not be able to do anything about it until this person gets the lashes removed. Number 2, excess glue. We must always make sure that the joint or the bond between the eyelash extension and also the natural lash is seamless. If not, we are going to have a not so very clean set and it's not going to be a correct application. If you exceed with the glue, you will end up having little particles of black glue or black specks on your eyelash extensions, which does not look clean at all. And your guest is going to refer to this as feeling bumps on her eyelashes or feeling like there's little particles on there, which is going to be itchy and it's going to be uncomfortable for the guest. This is excess glue, which brings us to the next point, which is the third point, and that is the lack of isolation. If you use excess glue, guys, you are going to end up having all of your eyelash extensions sticking to one another. And what is this going to happen? It's going to happen that they are going to be stuck and looking like clusters or strip lashes, which we do not want because they're eyelash extensions and should be individual. Always make sure to isolate before, during, and after the application so that all of your eyelash extensions are stranded individually and are not next to the other one, because if they do, then this is going to cause for the guest eyelash or the eyelash line to be sore and itchy, and it's going to be very painful. 4, you do not gain volume with thickness. Okay guys, this next one is going to sound a little silly, but it happens actually more often than you would expect. Let's say that a person comes in and they say, I want the classic set. But then they start going on and saying that they want more volume, they want it to look darker, they want it to look fuller. So you say, okay, so let's recommend you to a volume set, which is so-and-so, and you explain it. But then you also explain the price. And when they listen to the price, they say, okay, never mind, let's just stick to classic, but can you make them darker? Which means that they want added thickness to make it seem as if it was fuller, but in reality, it's just thicker. For this, remember that it is not beneficial because this is all proportional. The bigger or the thicker the extension is, the heavier it is. And sometimes the natural lashes, the guest natural lashes, might not always be able to carry and support that big, thick lash extension that is placed on top. which will cause the eyelash extensions and the natural lashes to not be healthy. Now for this, it is common to also hear the person say, well, it feels like when I look upwards or when I look forward, I see something dark, like a dark line. And this is due to the extension being too heavy. Let's say that this is your natural lash and this is the extension. It's going to start pushing the natural eyelash down, which kind of obstructs with the vision, and that is why this happens. Not only this happens, but your natural eyelashes get pretty tired of carrying this fat extension on it, and eventually this will lead to falling prematurely or for it to just keep drooping and twirling. Fifth point, no to excess volume. This point goes hand in hand with the previous one, but now instead of thickness, it's volume wise. Now today, you would be surprised at how trendy the mega volumes, the handmade volumes, or the really long strip lash looking volumes are. As mentioned in the other point, this is proportional because the heavier the extension gets, come on, say it with me, the more pressure it applies onto your natural lash. And the same thing happens. Mega volume sometimes equals more weight. More weight equals more pressure on the natural lash. More pressure on the natural lash is going to result into dull and brittle and weak natural eyelashes, which is then going to result into premature fallout. Now we do understand that these type of lashes are really nice and they're beautiful. This type of lash set can be used for one-time events or something that's not as frequent. Maybe you have a wedding or I don't know, something. This is something that you can use for that one time. That's not going to harm your lashes. Well, it shouldn't. But if you're doing this every single day, every single time, then this is going to result into a little more negative results. So in conclusion, for this point, we are not saying that we don't like volumes. We love volumes. It's just that you have to be a little more careful when it comes to adding too much volume on your natural lashes. Number 6, the design of the extensions. When we are applying eyelash extensions, this does not mean that we are just going to take random pieces of hair and just stick them all over the eye and expect for it to look nice. In previous videos, we explained how a design can create the visual effect of either correcting or elongating the eye to give it a different expression. This is why it is important to understand exactly how to create a design. By you doing a good design, this is going to give you an extra point and it's going to have your customers wanting to come back to only you. Number 7, fill in after fill in after fill in. One of the things we can definitely never allow our guests to get used to is to have fill in after fill in after fill in after fill in after fill in, to the point where 1 year has passed and the person has never removed their initial set. You may do 2 to 3 fill-in sessions or infill sessions, however you want to call it, but it should never be more than that, because remember that our priority as eyelash technicians is to always take care of the guest's natural lash. If you apply glue over old glue and you are just applying eyelash extensions over dirty natural lashes, then you are creating a very horrible mistake. The correct thing is to remove the eyelash extensions on your guest after the 2nd, 3rd, or exaggerating the 4th fill. Then we have to clean the natural eyelashes with the proper products and then apply a new fresh set. This should go hand in hand not only with the cleanse that you are providing for them, but also with the cleanse that they should have been doing in their own home, which you should have educated them as well. Number 8, test new products on clients. You should never try new products or products that you've never used before on a guest. And by guest, we're talking about a person who is paying you money to give a service. Always ask someone that you trust. This could either be your sister, your best friend, your aunt, or your husband. Always rehearse or try to use this product beforehand on a person that you trust and not your guest. Because if you are doing this service and the product that you use doesn't go as planned or as you expect, many things can go wrong during this application, because if you're doing this on a person who's paying you for a service, this will not make you look professional or ethical. And by this, we are not saying never to use new products. It's very good that you're doing so because it's adding a value to your service. Just don't do this on your paying guests. Number 9, distributing your time wisely. Now, in the beginning, this happens to all of us. We don't always have the speed, agility, or the experience when we are applying eyelash extensions. And this can result for us taking a little longer to apply them. Now, you have to understand how you yourself work and come up with a strategy when you are applying eyelash extensions. This can either be moving from eye to eye, working on one block, or whatever is easier for you. But just remember that you have to have a plan, because you don't want it to happen that you have spent 2 hours on one eye and you still have to take more time to complete the other eye. When this happens, sometimes this can result in back pain or discomfort from your guest side, frustration, and you can even lose your clients. So it is important to measure time. Not only is this going to make you comfortable, but it's also going to make your guest comfortable. And number 10, communication. Communication is one of the things we find the most important, and this is what's going to set you aside from other lash techs. Not only do you have to have communication with your client at the time of the application, but also before, and asking your questions such as what type of set are you looking for, what type of curvature are you looking for, what type of volume are you looking for, how long, what type of set or application, and during the application, asking them things like, are you doing okay? Is anything bothering you? Is anything itching? Is anything burning? How are you feeling? Everything is important that you communicate back and forth with your guests and that they tell you exactly what they're feeling in the process. Remember, we are working with a very delicate part of the eyes, and also the glue that we're working with can also have vapors that can go inside of the eye and cause some sort of discomfort. That is why you should always communicate with your guests. Well, friends, these were the 10 points. I really hope that you enjoyed them. As I mentioned before, these are not rules as such, but it is something that we have found to be useful and helpful when it comes to the application of the eyelash extensions. We want to give a very special thanks to our subscribers who had been suggesting this topic for us. Let us know if this is the type of videos you want to keep seeing, or if you have any other suggestions or questions. We're always happy to answer you. Don't forget to visit us on our social media, and also don't forget to check out our other videos which can be helpful for you. As always, it was a pleasure being with you, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!